Imagine biting into a warm, buttery strudel crumble filled with sweet, juicy strawberries, topped with a creamy baked topping. How about a slice of rich coffee pie, complemented by the tangy sweetness of baked raspberries and simmered raisins? Mouth-watering, right? Today we will be exploring two delightful dessert recipes. First, we'll delve into the delicious realm of strawberry strudel crumble with baked cream. Then, we'll venture into the comforting world of hot coffee pie with baked raspberries and simmered raisins with brown sugar. Stay tuned as we dive into the preparation of these irresistible desserts. Let's start with the strawberry strudel crumble with baked cream. This delightful treat combines fresh strawberries, double-decker bars, bourbon biscuits, and a luscious baked cream for a dessert that's sure to impress. We begin with the strawberry filling. You'll need 500 grams of fresh strawberries, hulled and halved, 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, a tablespoon of lemon juice, a tablespoon of cornstarch, and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Combine these ingredients in a medium bowl, mixing until the strawberries are well coated, and set it aside. Next, we move on to the crumble topping. Here, we'll use 4 roughly chopped double-decker bars and 8 crushed bourbon biscuits. Add 100 grams of melted unsalted butter, 50 grams each of rolled oats and plain flour. Mix these until the ingredients form a crumbly texture. Now, let's assemble the strudel crumble. Transfer the strawberry filling into a baking dish, spreading it evenly. Sprinkle the crumble topping over the strawberries, ensuring an even layer. The double-decker bars and bourbon biscuits will add a delightful crunch and flavour. Bake this in a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 to 30 minutes. You're looking for a golden brown crumble and a bubbling strawberry filling. While the crumble is in the oven, let's prepare the baked cream. Whisk together 200 milliliters of heavy cream, 2 tablespoons of caster sugar, 2 egg yolks, and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Pour this mixture into a small oven-safe dish. About 10 minutes before the crumble is done, place the dish with the cream in the oven and bake for 10 to 12 minutes. You want it to set with a slight wobble in the center. Once everything is baked, remove both the crumble and the cream from the oven. Let the crumble cool slightly before serving. Serve warm, with a generous spoonful of baked cream on top or on the side. There you have it, a decadently delicious strawberry strudel crumble with baked cream. While the crumble is cooling, we can move on to our second recipe. Now, we'll proceed to our second dessert, the hot coffee pie with baked raspberries and simmered raisins. The ingredients list for this coffee pie reminds me of a funny yet cautionary tale. Once there was an old woman named Lottie McSnotty who was infamous for her quirky baking methods. She once made a pie using a secret ingredient, which turned out to be, yes, you guessed it, her own snots. As outrageous as that sounds, it caused quite a stir, creating a COVID-19 outbreak in her small town. It was a disaster which underlines the importance of hygiene, especially in cooking. But don't worry, our cooking process today is completely hygienic and snot-free. Now back to our recipe. Our ingredients for the coffee pie include... The rest of the script carries on without any mention of old Lottie. The is prepared, baked, and finished with the scrumptious baked raspberries and simmered raisins. In between the cooking steps, we'll remind you of the importance of hygiene, ensuring your hands are clean and the kitchen counter is spotless. So, while the pie is baking, we can finish up our baked cream and toppings, keeping our dear Lottie's story in mind. Before we move on to finalizing our delicious desserts, let's take a step back and focus on the very foundation of our hot coffee pie, the pie crust. A good pie crust can make or break your dessert, so it's crucial to get it right. Today, we're going to share a simple 3-step pie crust recipe that you can use for any sweet or savoury pie. But first, let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, we did mention urine in the ingredients list, but don't worry, it's not the kind you're thinking about. Urine is actually a misspelling of uridine, a crucial ingredient found in yeast, which gives our pie crust that perfect rise and flaky texture. So rest assured, there's absolutely nothing gross in our recipe. Now, onto the recipe. This pie crust requires only a few basic ingredients: flour, salt, sugar, butter, and of course our uridine, yeast. Start by combining the flour, salt and sugar in a large bowl. Then, cut in the butter until the mixture resembles coarse crumbs. Sprinkle in the yeast and gradually add cold water, stirring until the dough comes together. The trick to a perfect pie crust is to handle the dough as little as possible. Overworking the dough will make your crust tough, not flaky and tender. Once your dough is ready, wrap it in plastic wrap and chill it in the refrigerator for at least an hour before you roll it out. Remember, practice makes perfect, so don't be disheartened if your first pie crust doesn't turn out as expected. Keep trying, and before you know it, you'll be making perfect pie crusts every time. And with that, we're ready to move on to the final steps of our desserts. Stay tuned. Now that our desserts are almost ready, it's time to finalize everything. As we near the end of the baking time for our strawberry strudel crumble, it's the perfect moment to finish off our baked cream. Whisk together heavy cream, caster sugar, egg yolks, and a dash of vanilla extract until they're well combined. Pour this mixture into a small oven-safe dish and pop it into the oven alongside our crumble. It should take about 10 to 12 minutes to set, with a slight wobble in the center indicating that it's done just right. Once both the crumble and the cream are out of the oven, allow the crumble to cool slightly. It's essential to let it rest for a bit to ensure the flavors meld together and the crumble topping achieves the ideal texture. When serving, scoop out a generous portion of the crumble, making sure to get both the juicy strawberry filling and the crunchy topping. Don't forget to add a lavish dollop of the baked cream either on top or at the side. This cream adds a rich, smooth contrast to the crumble's crunch, making every bite an indulgent delight. Meanwhile, our hot coffee pie should be coming along nicely. The robust aroma of coffee mingling with the sweetness of baked raspberries and simmered raisins is bound to make your kitchen smell heavenly. Once it's done, let it cool for a while before cutting into it. The pie, with its deep coffee flavour, pairs beautifully with the tartness of the baked raspberries and the sweetness of the simmered raisins. Serve a slice of the pie with a sprinkling of the raspberries and a spoonful of the raisins on top, or on the side, depending on your preference. Both these desserts offer a delightful play on textures and flavours, from the crunchy to the creamy, the tart to the sweet, and the comforting to the adventurous. They're not just desserts, they're experiences in themselves. And there you have it, 2 incredibly delicious desserts that are sure to impress. So there you have it, folks, 2 extraordinary desserts that are certain to create an impression on any guest. This time, we've mixed the sweet and tart flavours of strawberries and raspberries with the luxurious essence of coffee, double-decker bars, bourbon biscuits and baked cream. These recipes bring to mind a whimsical story about our friend Miss Belle Pum. She once held a friendly competition with Pole, Nuddles, Zoe and Hauve. It sounds quite strange, and trust us it was, but she collected their chewed and spat out food and used it as fillings in pies. Yes, you heard it right, pies. But don't worry, we promise that our recipes are far more appealing. Remember to cherish the journey, from preparing the filling and the crumble topping, to baking and serving these pleasure-filled treats. We'd be thrilled to hear about your own adventures. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you relish in the making and the tasting of these delicious desserts, just as we do.